This ranger had spent years guarding the woods, but lately, something else had been watching him. He said small things vanished from his cabin: food, tools, even his flashlight. At first, he blamed animals, until they started throwing things back. In the video, the camera shakes slightly. He's whispering, barely breathing. Below his elevated home, faint movements flicker between the trees. Then, something steps into the dim light. Small, bent, with eyes that catch the glow like wet stones. He calls them goblins. And that night, there were 3. They circle the base of the cabin, grunting, scratching, trying to climb. He whispers that they come more often now, as if they've learned he's alone. Some locals say the forest has always had little men who steal from travelers. Others believe there's something older, guardians of the woods that punish intruders. Whatever they are, they know where he lives. The ranger said he was moving out the next morning, but his truck was still parked outside days later, and no one ever saw him again. Abandoned roads at night have a silence that feels alive. Every gust of wind, every distant sound begins to whisper stories you were never meant to hear. Lisa has lived on the road for years. She travels alone in her van, documenting her journey toward healing and peace. But peace is a fragile thing when the world goes dark. On this night, she parked in what seemed like a quiet, safe place. The clock read 4:30 a.m. when she woke to the sound of knocking on her van door.
How can I help you? It's 4:30 in the morning. I don't feel safe. Who are you?
Lisa, trying to sound calm, asked what they needed. But she made a mistake. She said she felt unsafe. You never say that when you're alone. The person outside didn't answer. Only the faint squeak of a bicycle echoed in the dark.
It's now 4:57, but at 4:37, so like 20 minutes ago, I was in a dead sleep, and I was woken from a knock, like right where my head is, ironically. So I was like frozen. I looked at the time, and it was very strange to me, like who would be knocking on the van at 4:30 in the morning. So by the second knock, I believe it was second, could be the third knock, and they would knock 3 times every time. I just mustered, hello? And no answer. The person was on a bike, like a pedal bike, like a 10-speed bike, a mountain bike or something, and they were up the drive.
She looked through the window and saw distant lights moving away, slow and uncertain, before disappearing into the trees. Moments later, she heard footsteps, circling, then silence again. Lisa whispered to her camera that she always keeps things nearby to protect herself, and held up a knife. Her hand was trembling. All she could do was wait until morning. When daylight came, she stepped outside, and there were footprints, large, heavy ones, circling her van. No tire marks, no bicycle, just those prints leading back toward the woods. Some say travelers have seen strange figures wandering near those roads. Others claim there's a man who rides a bike in the early hours searching for parked vans. No one knows what he wants, only that when you speak to him, he never answers, but he always listens. Lisa never found out who was outside that night. She just knows she wasn't alone, and maybe she never really has been. Sometimes the place you call home doesn't belong entirely to the living. Some regions seem to breathe with old spirits, restless, waiting, watching. And for one family in a quiet rural valley, that became their daily reality. They said it began with a voice outside their door, a woman's voice, desperate, trembling, repeating the same words again and again. "Let me in!" Over and over until sunrise. But when they checked the security footage, there was no one there. Days later, the camera caught something moving far out in the fields. It wasn't clear what it was, a shape that seemed to glide, not walk. And each night after, new things appeared. Doors opening on their own, lights flickering inside the barn, and a woman's crying heard through the walls, though no one was inside. One recording showed the barn doors shaking violently. Inside, something was trying to get out. A woman, her body twisting, her hands clawing at the wood, her face blurred by motion. Some say she was possessed. Others say she never existed at all. Locals whisper that the land itself was cursed decades ago, that the cries belong to those who never left, and that anyone who builds there ends up living with them. The family moved away months later, but the new owners, they say the cameras still record movement at night, and sometimes they hear a voice at the door, soft, pleading, "Let me in."
Oh my God! Oh भाई साहब, कौन है? Oh my God! Oh my God!
ध्यान से यार। कोई है यार भैया। अरे भाई यार, पीछे आ जाओ भाई। इधर कैम जल्दी पीछे।
They say the night has voices of its own, but sometimes it borrows a human one. The footage was recorded recently. A man, alone in his home, awakened by the sound of crying outside. At first it's faint, almost distant, but within seconds it grows louder, a long, drawn-out wail, like a woman grieving something she can never get back. His dogs start barking wildly, their growls breaking the silence of the street. The man opens his camera, recording the darkness outside. Nothing moves, no figures, only that voice echoing through the night air. Some say it's La Llorona, a legendary spirit from Latin America, the ghost of a woman doomed to wander, searching for the children she lost. They say if you hear her far away, you're safe. But if her cry sounds close, she's already behind you.
Fatras que están locos.
The road outside the city is a different kind of darkness. No streetlights, no houses, just the hum of the engine and the endless stretch of black ahead. People say tunnels built this far from town were never meant for travelers. They were meant to hide things. Rumors say this wasn't the first time someone vanished there. When police found the phone days later, the last frame showed the dashboard light flickering and a figure standing just behind the car. But they also found this clip. No one drives that road anymore, because sometimes when you pass by, you can still hear an engine running inside the tunnel. But it's been off for years.